After resigning from medical pathology, I went to work as an inspector for a detective agency, specializing in finding tadpoles on women's underwear to provide evidence for the bigwigs to catch adultery. It's a lucrative job with little to do, and you can eat your fill of melons. Until one day, the old patron sent a fresh sample. A small peach lace underwear with the initials MYY embroidered on the bottom right corner. It was exactly the same as the one I gave my fiancée yesterday. 1. I was a little surprised when I saw the color of the sample. It's very similar to my aesthetic. When I saw the letters embroidered on the lace edge, my head buzzed, my blood froze, and I broke out in a cold sweat. MYY, abbreviation of Meng In In, customized model. The probability of bumping into the panties was less than being struck by lightning twice a day. My fiancée laughed and scolded me when she put them on this morning. So stuffy, sending me panties. I wrapped my arms around her from behind and blew in her ear. It's fun, honey, do you like it? How do you reward me? She laughed and pushed me away, put on her skirt and ran to the side. Panties. No one else can see them, you just have to like them. And then very shyly whispered. Reward you tonight. I was working happily with the anticipation of a big dinner in the evening. I never thought that someone would take it off in advance and deliver it to me. I froze, my mind going blank. My buddy Chin Fong urged me on. Why are you so dumbfounded? The client is waiting. I slowed down, holding on for dear life. What are you looking for? What else? Checking for tadpoles. And check for spermicides, lubricants, hyaluronic acid, silicone, etc., in case you're wearing a condom. I suppressed my heartbeat and mechanically put the sample under the pathology microscope. Resisting the urge to rush out and beat up the adulterer, I asked, as if inadvertently. Which unlucky guy got green by his wife? No, this time it's someone else's wife. This time it's someone else's wife. He laughed a little obscenely. This brotherly loves to mess with other people's wives, and he has to ask them not to share the same room with their husbands. He's a pervert, isn't he? That's what rich people do. He's got a new target. He's checking if she's clean and obedient. What if they don't listen? If she doesn't listen, we'll get rid of her. If she does, we'll play together for a while. What's wrong with her? What do you want from her? Chin Fong smiled cheaply. Money. My stupid brother. Under the pathology microscope, apart from the basic female secretions, it's clean. There were no tadpoles and no condoms. I'm suffocating with a breath that won't go up and down my throat. Finding nothing didn't make it any easier. When I think about how I've been asking for sex lately, Meng In In has been refusing me for various reasons. I've been reflecting on whether I'm too old-fashioned, dull, and don't know how to have fun. That's why I thought of customizing a pair of panties to give to her, never thought that she was keeping her body for someone else. And I, too, was a part of their play. I handed the test report to Chin Fong, my hand shaking as I held the microscope. He looked at the report with a mocking face. Oh yes, another green turtle has been born. The already chaotic brain was slammed again with a heavy hammer. My fiancée cheated on me. I'm the turtle. 2. I rubbed my face hard, and the remnants of my sanity thought quickly. This thing cannot be impulsive, is to beat that man a meal is not much use. Meng In In has not yet had an actual relationship with him. In the end, how it is not certain, this matter has to be considered in the long run. Thinking about it, I came to the door of the parlor next door, from the doorway to see the client's appearance, 40 out of the head, a successful dress, but the face of the people cannot bear to look at, especially the hair, then my armpit hair is also sparse, this kind of honor, Meng In In can look at him. I was a bit puzzled. Seeing the report, the man nodded with satisfaction, and Chin Fong doggedly handed him a cigarette. Brotherly, this is good. The man on the other side squinted his eyes and inhaled his cigarette. Well, quite obedient. He's not married yet, so he's fresh. Chin Fong doggedly held the ashtray in front of the man. Brotherly's conditions are so good that he can pick any girl he wants. The man gave Chin Fong an inscrutable sidelong glance. This you do not understand, sleeping with the girl risky, with a few days want you to divorce to marry her, this kind of stable relationship to give some benefits on the line, the economy is not good, have to save costs. Finished, the two looked at each other and laughed. Too disgusting, I suddenly lost the impulse to go up and beat him, beating him will only dirty my hands. When he left, I specifically remembered his license plate number, 678 TP. 3. Evening after work, Meng Yining has returned. I entered the door. She was very attentive to come over, took my bag. Is the hospital busy today? I nodded my head and spread out on the sofa tiredly. I used to pretend to be tired, but today I was really exhausted. I watched Meng Yining busying herself between the kitchen and the dining table, and suddenly felt very out of place. Is this my future wife? She's cheating on me. She can't be. We've been in love for 7 years, and we've always had a good relationship. We're getting married soon. She commutes to work on time every day. There's nothing suspicious about her timing. She is gentle and virtuous, and everyone praises me for finding a good woman, so what went wrong? While thinking about this, I approached her, hugged her from behind, and put my hand into my pants. She jumped up like a pinprick and looked at me with a wary face. My heart plummeted. I leaned over the dining room table with my arms wrapped around me and simply picked my battles. Weren't the panties I gave you wearing this morning? Why did you change them? Her gaze flickered with panic and confusion, obviously trying to think of something to say. I saw them when you were bending over just now. Change them to white. She smoothed her hair less naturally. Oh, coffee spilled on my dress during the day and it got dirty. I went along with her words to match her. Oh, can it still be washed out? I can't wash it. I threw it away. You won't blame me, will you? I didn't mean to. I smiled and shook my head. Why not? It's just a pair of panties. At night before bedtime, she washed and smelled good and came over. Hubby, here's your reward. I directly closed my eyes and pretended to sleep. She did not die to reach out and touch me. I held back the nausea and moved to the side, slurred. Tired, hurry up and go to sleep. I pretended to be very decent. Eyelashes did not move a bit, but the heart turned over, difficult to calm down. 4. After Meng Yining fell asleep, I took her cell phone. The social networking apps were checked, but there was no trace of her. The consulting firm stayed for a long time, which I expected. Women don't cheat less than men, but because women are delicate, they hide it well. Combined with great acting skills, it's usually when a woman wants a divorce that she purposely exposes the information and the other person notices. At work, I often see poor men who can't look back from where they are fixed by the test report. I look at them with either sympathy or mockery, not realizing that eating and watching the drama has been my comeuppance today. Deleted chat records. This cannot be difficult to defeat me. I directly logged into her WeChat on my computer and backed up all her chat records and billing details to my computer at migration and backup. At the same time, I logged her WeChat into my iPad. After that, I called up the shortcut commands on Meng Yining's phone. Marked a certain letter and chose to get the current location and send it to my own cell phone as a text message. Also turned off pre-run queries. This way, as long as she opened WeChat, I would receive her real-time location. After doing all this and using up my entire body's strength, I collapsed onto the swivel chair in the study. I didn't close my eyes for a night at Meng Yining's chat records. 5. These two haven't hooked up for a short time. At first, they were flirting with each other. Then they started to flirt with each other as brother and sister. Comparing the transfer records, the adulterer gave Meng Yining 78,000 red packets of various sizes during this period. I'm sure there were more gifts. It occurred to me that Meng Yining has been changing her clothes and bags a lot lately, and I asked her about it. She looked unhappy. I can't even buy my own clothes with my own money. I hurriedly searched for the standard answer in the Great Survival Test. Laughing and joking, this is over. It never occurred to me that she was cheating on me. Apparently the money power worked, and their relationship skyrocketed. Just now, when she was taking a shower, she sent him a half-naked picture. Attached to the flirty words. Dear, I passed the test. I did listen to you. I didn't make out with my husband, so I'm waiting for my brother to come and love me. Opposite reply. Won't let you wait in vain, baby. Brother will eat you tomorrow. Not only that, I also found out that it's not the first time Meng Yining cheated on her husband. She and her brother's chat records. Brother-in-law asked her for money, she replied. Not yet on it, wait a little longer. Sister, can you do it? It's your fault you had to date that Song Si-in. You can't make much money on a dead salary. Why don't you just get rid of him and find another one? You're so beautiful. What do you know? Doctors are stable and have a high social status. The older you get, the better you get, and your sister has had enough of being a doctor. Sister still lacks a good life. I can't spend what I used to get, so I'll let my brother have a little bit of money to make him happy. Don't let it slip out in front of Song Si-yen. I don't want to worry, he's too dumb to find out. I snapped the notebook shut with a thud, so disgusted that I couldn't watch it anymore. This is so different from the Meng In I know so well. I suddenly realized that I had never known this woman at all. 6. Meng In and I are reading the university to know, the student era of love is very pure, did not consider any practical problems, think of all the future how to be happy to grow old together. When I was in graduate school, I was basically sure that I would stay in the pathology department of my alma mater's hospital. I didn't realize that something had happened to Meng In-yin's family. Her father fell from a construction site scaffolding and fractured his spine. Despite all efforts to save him, his lower limbs were paralyzed and he could no longer stand up. It was then that I learned about In-yin's family. Her mother was a full-time housewife and her father worked part-time. Her mother was a full-time housewife, her father worked part-time, and she had a younger brother who was a loafer. It's no wonder she's been so secretive about her family. She is very simple for a girl of her age, but it turns out that the money she earns is subsidized by her family. Now that the family's main laborer is paralyzed in bed, Meng In broke up with me in tears. I love you so much, but I can't drag you down. My heart went out to her at that time. I knew that most people would weigh the pros and cons and stop in time. But as a medical student, I have seen a lot of sudden illnesses and fragile emotions. I deeply understand that there are always unexpected circumstances. Who can guarantee that the days will always be smooth sailing? Perhaps one day I will also meet with misfortune. Then I must hope that the person I love will never leave me and cherish me forever. So after graduation, I gave up the opportunity to study for a doctorate, joined the consulting company opened by Qin Feng's brother. This consulting company is the designated outsourcer of the head detective company. It specializes in doing biological identification for cheating women. That is, looking for tadpoles. In fact, checking tadpoles for this matter can be detected with test paper. Or a nurse who can operate a microscope can do it. But after all, I have a degree in science, plus I love to study, I can do a detailed cytological analysis of tadpoles. So I can accurately measure the time when the tadpole is produced, with an error of no more than 2 hours. That's awesome. As long as the client gets a sample, or even a swab with a sample on it, within 72 hours. I can tell him when his wife cheated on him. This provides important evidence for the bigwigs to accurately catch adultery. With this technology, Qin Feng's brother's company is quite famous in the industry and leads the business. Of course, I was also paid handsomely. In 3 years, I saved enough for a down payment on a house. Only the job went against my original intention of studying medicine, and I kept thinking of earning a little more to give Meng In a good life, and then I fucking quit. Of course I didn't tell Meng In about all this, I was afraid she would feel sorry for me and have a psychological burden. That's why she thought I was working at a private hospital. In hindsight, I was too sentimental to be a joke. 7. The cell phone received an alert. The address is Meng In-yin's company. I'm suddenly so nervous I can't breathe, and my mind is rushing with chaotic thoughts. There's danger. Go. Go track her down and catch her in the act. Strangle this pair of dogs. Get someone to beat them up so badly they can't take care of themselves. Post their scandalous stories on the internet, so they can die a social death, and anyone who sees them from now on will curse them for being shameless. There are also sensible. Don't be impulsive, beating people, posting people's private photos which are against the law. For such a woman to get into a lawsuit, self-destruction of the future, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just break up and forget about it. Staying away from a scummy woman is the best salvation for yourself. She's nothing. We have parents who love us. Don't be impulsive. If you want to be angry, you have to do it without breaking the law. I've been distracted all morning. I was at war with the black and the white. It was approaching 12 o'clock. My aching heart was loaded to the hilt. Because for 3 years, from the data I have, most cheating happens during lunch breaks. Most cheating happens during lunch breaks. Suddenly my shoulders sank. My heart skipped a beat. Qin Feng's loud voice came. What the fuck, buddy, sneaking around, watching a small movie behind my back. Let's go eat. I just wanted to refuse. Ding. My cell phone is ringing. The real-time location has been sent. I looked at the words for a long time. Hilton Hotel. 8. The other boot that had been waiting all night had landed. What other excuse was there? I closed my eyes tightly, digging my fingers into my hair, and took a moment to slow down. 7 years of dedication, 7 years of love, and it's come to an end. The black me and the white me are paralyzed with exhaustion. This breath I'm holding, I have to get out. I turned to look at Chin Feng. Buddy, I have something going on right now, will you help me? I briefly told Chin Feng that it was too damn hard to talk about. I stumbled, but he understood. He inhaled deeply and said, "Fuck, you're digging in my brother's house. You don't even know what I do." With Chin Feng's help, I was able to get Li's information. Li Yongli, 41 years old, married, doing business with property companies, his wife, the only daughter of Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai, 3 years older than him, the wealth and power to hold. Li Yongli has been dishonest, but quite prudent, outside the wise husband and father, good reputation, especially fear of the internal. Knowing the name of the adulterer, I drove to the Hilton Hotel. In the underground parking lot, I found Li Yongli's car, 678 TP. It seems that Meng Yin dating is Li Yongli. I rushed to the front desk and gave Wen Li's name, claiming to be his assistant who wanted to renew his room. So the front desk checked the room number with me, 1230. And it also said that Mr. Li had already chartered the room for a month, and he wanted to continue. I smiled coldly. There is a fixed room number, this can really save me a lot of things. Immediately after that I sat in the hotel lobby, using WeChat voice to call Meng Yin. She never refuses to answer my calls. Of course this time, she unprecedentedly didn't answer. It must have been busy by now. I immediately sent her a real-time location share. We used to share each other's real-time location when we were in a mushy relationship. If she accepts, she'll realize I'm right downstairs in the hotel. Can't wait to see what her face will be like. Of course, she missed the last chance I gave her. 9. When I got home at night, Meng Yin was already back. She didn't look too good, but of course, in addition to my interruptions, I also set 3 alarms on her cell phone. They go off every 10 minutes, even if they're muted. It must be hard to be disturbed so often when you're on the verge of something. She was spread out on the couch, exasperated. "What are you looking for me for at noon? I'm working late for a meeting and I can't answer the phone." Look at this panic, it's coming out of her mouth. I sat across from her and looked straight at her. "Oh, I went to the clinic just to your company downstairs, want to give you a surprise. Hey, your office is not that 428. She flustered, visible to the naked eye. "You went to my office?" "Yes, but I didn't see you." "Where are you working, honey?" I suddenly realized that women are born to be movie queens, and when she wants to lie to you, she can tell you lies in a seamless way. How to work overtime in the customer's company, how to be difficult mood bad, miss my surprise very regrettable, the next time to come to the company to say in advance, together with a date romantic romance. I listened quietly, according to the plan to throw a sentence. "You said the phone alarm clock rang a few times. Maybe the cell phone is broken, tomorrow my husband will buy you a new one." She came up to my face and gave me a kiss. "Hubby, you're so nice." She turned around and went to take a shower without seeing me rubbing my face with alcohol wipes. I can't help it, I'm a germaphobe and I hate to get dirty. She took her clothes off outside the shower. I took a sterile swab and sampled it on my underwear. Told her something was wrong at the hospital, turned around and went back to the office. Meng Yin has endometriosis and wears a Mannix, so I guess they should be unprotected. Sure enough, there were tadpoles on the sample, basically dead. I took the tadpole samples and froze them in liquid nitrogen. This stuff might still be useful. After I left the house, I went to the mall and bought Meng Yin a new cell phone, and set it up the way Chin Feng taught me. I can control her cell phone remotely if necessary. I gave Meng Yin the new cell phone and she stared in amazement. I never wanted to buy one. It's so expensive. I smiled. By the way, I got a bear in the mall raffle. Isn't it cute? She covered her mouth in exaggeration. It's so cute. The color matches your bag, why don't you hang it here? Yes. Yes. She closed her smile and her eyes became ambiguous. Hubby, I'll reward you tonight. I screamed, no good. I'm so addicted, obviously I didn't have enough to eat at noon. I hurriedly showed a regretful expression. But what if hubby has to write his thesis? I'll write it after the reward. I want to go to sleep after the reward. Be good, don't shake me. She pouted, a look of lust, huffed and turned into the bedroom. 10. There's a camera inside the bear, which is a professional sneak peek device that Chin Fong provided me with. It's just that Meng Yin hangs it on her bag, resulting in a different angle every time she takes a picture. Sometimes it's facing the bed and you can enjoy a full action movie. Sometimes it was facing the wall with sound but no image. Another time, it clearly captured Wen Li turning his back and eating a small blue pill. Chin Fong didn't understand what I was doing. What's the trouble? Just bring a group of people to catch the adulterer in bed. I laughed at him for thinking things simple and rough. What's the use of catching an adulterer in bed? What's the point of catching an adulterer in bed? It's just a dog-eat-dog affair, and then we break up and call it quits. But I've wasted 7 years on a scummy girl. I'm not happy, I want more. From what I've observed, Meng Yin and Wen Li meet on a very regular basis. Every Tuesday, Thursday. It's during the lunch break, and the location is fixed at the Hilton, not far from Meng Yin's company. The reason for this time is that every Tuesday, Li Yongli's wife, Huang Lihua, will go back to her mother's home to accompany her parents. On Thursdays, Huang Lihua will gather with several good sisters. Sisters' parties are a good time to catch an adulterer. 11. I've intercepted all of Li Yongli's comments about his wife in bed over the past few weeks. For example, and the old woman long ago no feelings, she is 3 years older than me, and then dress up is also the old cucumber brush green paint. Baby, I really want to be with you every day. I'm lying next to the old woman's heart is also thinking about you. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm sure I'll be able to do it, and I'm sure I'll be able to do it. She said 50 retirement, the company are in charge of me, when that time I kicked her. I'll kick her in the ass. I don't have the heart to break up with you. If you keep staring at me, I'll lose my soul to you. So, on a windy Thursday noon, I counted the time. Sent the hotel address and the edited voice to Li Yongli's wife. Any original wife would be furious to hear this, right? Don't let me down. After sending it, I pulled Chin Fong to wait quietly at the tea restaurant across from the Hilton. It would take about half an hour to get here from where Huang Lihua was partying. I called the front desk of the hotel and confirmed that Wen Li had ordered 2 business lunches. I made a point of replacing the orange juice in the set menu with grapefruit juice, freshly squeezed, no ice. The receptionist agreed. After all this I was calm and relaxed, pulling Chin Fong ready to watch the show. Chin Fong didn't understand. What are you selling here? You'll find out soon enough. 12. Right on time, Huang Lihua rushed into the Hilton with 7 or 8 women. I turned on the camera. Today's angle is good. It's right on the bed. I saw that Willie Li had just showered and was wearing a towel. Meng Yin was already ready, looking at him with affection. Oops, it hasn't started yet, it's a little later than planned. Just then there was a knock on the door. Li Yongli was very impatient. Fuck, who is it? When the door opened, Huang Lihua kicked Li Yongli in the stomach. After that, 7 or 8 women rushed in and automatically split into 2 groups. The 4 led by Huang Lihua surrounded Li Yongli. With bags in their hands, they swung on Li Yongli one by one. Fuck you. Li Yongli, you're looking for a mistress behind my back, can you stand up to me? Li Yongli was beaten to hold his head and run away. No, wife. I was just confused. Don't hit me, don't hit me. I didn't do anything. Didn't do it. You didn't have time to do it, did you? Huang Lihua swept eye toward Li Yongli's lower body, and immediately became furious. Really fucking shameless, Li Yongli. Look at the way your dick is sticking out. I'll let you fucking stub it out here. Huang Lihua raised her high-heeled foot and kicked Li Yongli's lower body with all her might. There was a loud ow sound. Chin Fong and I both reflexively clenched our legs, this is too fatal. Chin Fong also did not forget to gossip. Hey, don't say this old Li quite good all this scene guy's still so spirit. I sneer. It's not that he's good, it's the little blue pill with grapefruit juice. Grapefruit juice contains furan coumarin compounds, will inhibit the activity of liver and intestinal enzymes. It prevents the normal metabolism of drugs in the body, thus exceeding the normal concentration. In other words, this big brother's little blue pill dose has doubled. And encountered sexual stimulation, so extra hard. It's just right to stimulate the original spouse who caught the adulterer in bed. After listening to it, Chin Fong heartily lamented. You can't offend those who study medicine. 13. The screen showed Li Yongli clutching his legs in pain, rolling around on the ground, his face pale. He must have suffered a rupture of his white membrane or become a eunuch for the rest of his life. He kept begging. Wife, quickly call 120, give me a bad kick, it hurts too much. It hurts too much, my penis. Huang Lihua completely ignored him, and after getting enough of Li Yongli's anger, she turned her attention to Meng Yin. Several women had already pulled Meng Yin's hair and dragged her to the ground. Big mouths were slapped loudly. Stinking bitch seducing men, shameless mistress. I saw that it was almost time and pulled Qin Feng. Let's go up. Qin Feng was quite excited. This is the first time I've experienced such a big scene. I warned him. I'll come and talk later, just videotape it at your door, and don't be surprised by what I say. Qin Feng and I rushed up. The entrance to the room was already full of people watching. It was such a big scene that everyone on the upper and lower floors heard the noise and ran to the corridor to watch the fun. Hee, there are really a lot of people taking small videos. I don't know if there are any live broadcasts. I took a few quick steps to break through the crowd and rush through the door. Meng Yin's hair was disheveled, her body was red and purple, and her face was full of scratches. When she looked up at me, she was as frightened as a rat at the sight of a cat. Husband. I rushed straight toward her, shoved away the two women who were grabbing her hair, took off my suit jacket and wrapped her up. Honey, what's going on? Someone sent me a message that you're here prostituting yourself. Meng Yin's eyes widened and large tears flowed down her face. My husband is not like what you think. I didn't, you believe my husband. I sneered, still pretending with me at this time. The big sister next to me looked at me defending Meng Yin with an incredulous expression. You're her husband. This bitch of yours is stealing. I slapped her with my backhand. Stealing. Do you have proof? I know my wife better than anyone. She wouldn't do such a thing. Someone must have forced her. Where's that bastard? Come out. I'll fucking chop him up. Li Yongli, who was on the ground and had just recovered a little bit of energy, looked at me and shrank to the ground without saying a word as if he wanted to kill someone. It was his wife who was filled with righteous indignation. When I came in, the two shameless people were naked. What is not cheating? You're blind. I swept my eyes at Li Yongli. Is this the bastard who bullied my wife? I grabbed the ashtray on the bedside and rushed towards Li Yongli in a fight to the death stance. At that moment, the crowd of onlookers automatically flashed a crack, and a few men in civilian clothes rushed in. Don't move. Police. 14. The police was reported by me, and it came in time. I threw down my ashtray. I turned around and hugged Meng Yin tightly, murmuring in her ear. Wife, don't be afraid, the police are here, you're not cheating on your wife, you were forced to do it, and you were bullied. You should use legal weapons, my husband supports you. Meng Yin mumbled, shaking too much to speak. With a face of blood marks, it is indeed very much like a woman who has been abused. Police cross-examination, Li Yongli in front of his wife's face. A bite is the first time to see, Meng Yin seduced him. Meng Yin hate facial distortion, jumped up and shouted. You fart, it's him. He's going to rape me. The police frowned. Rape is a criminal offense. Are you sure? Meng Yin shrank into my arms with an unshakable determination. Yes, he forced me to do it. Arrest him and sentence him. Li Yongli was anxious. I didn't even touch you. We'll know if we test you. Don't spit on me. It doesn't matter whether I touched you today or not. It doesn't matter whether I touched you today or not, because in the morning I had already put all the tadpoles I had collected during this period of time back into the underwear worn by Meng Yin today. It's a sure thing. 15. From an affair dispute to a criminal case, the problem is serious. Li Yongli was transferred to the hospital for treatment of his lower body injuries. Meng Yin was brought back to the police station. Before getting into the car, she assured me in a rainy voice. Hubby, believe me, I was really forced to do this, you won't want me, right? How could I, honey? I love you so much. Let's make that bastard pay. Meng Yin's eyes flashed, riding a tiger. I was a bit worried that she would turn against me halfway. Honey, you're not really cheating on me, are you? She immediately got firm. No, I swear. 16. The process of convicting a rape is complicated. Although the police have accessed the surveillance and the transfer records of the two men, etc., all of which prove that they have known each other for a long time and have a monetary relationship. But it still does not prove that Lee Yong-lee is innocent. Because even during the marriage against the will of the woman to have sex can be convicted of rape. Meng In bites was forced, coupled with her body full of injuries. It is difficult to determine whether it is to catch adultery by Huang Lihua's sister beat or Lee Yong-lee forced. Moreover, tadpoles belonging to Lee Yong-lee were found on Meng Yin's clothes. So Lee Yong-lee hair grip bald is also difficult to reverse the situation. I took advantage of the victory and sued all of the sisters of Huang Lihua, intentional injury. The main fight made them anxious. Sure enough, after a few days of stalemate, Huang Lihua came to my door. We arranged to meet at a tea house. All smart people, they opened the door. What do you really want? I took out my laptop and showed her a small video. Her eyes widened. What do you mean? I closed the computer. Ms. Wang, the consulting firm I work for specializes in helping clients investigate difficult issues and deal with all sorts of troubles. If you hire me to assist you in your investigation, I am confident that I can help to overturn your husband's case. She immediately realized what I wanted and switched to a business-like tone. Does your company charge expensive fees? It's quite expensive. For a problem like your husband's, it's $5 million. Her eyes glazed over. Why don't you go and grab it? He's not worth that much. If the case is established, I'll divorce him. I laughed. A scum is not worth so much, but a child's father is different. Lee Yong-lee cheating, you can completely divorce him, but your son is about to take the midterm exam. You do not worry about the impact on the child's physical and mental state. 17. Huang Lihua froze. You also investigated my family. Joke, how could I fight an unprepared battle? Lee Yong-lee was crippled by your kick. You keep him as not much use, but he is, after all, the child's father. He is convicted of rape, will be sentenced to 3 years to 10 years of imprisonment. The child will have a father with a record of the case. The future of all the need for political review session of the work have nothing to do with him. You hate Lee Yong-lee to the bone, but I think too you will not take the child's future to joke. I obviously spoke to her heart and she gritted her teeth and said, "You're blackmailing me." Oh, absolutely not. I'm talking to you on business. You hire us to help you, the money goes on the company's books, it's nothing to do with me personally. I have to think about it. Be my guest, but you don't have much time to think about it. The onlookers at the entrance of the Hilton had already posted the video on the internet. It had a big impact on the reputation of Huang Lihua's company. They were bidding for a college property and had already been sentenced out due to the company's poor image. If Lee Yong-lee is convicted, it will be particularly unfavorable to the family and career, so this dumb loss she must eat. As for how to settle scores with Lee Yong-lee in the autumn can look forward to. In the evening, Chin phone called. Huang Lihua signed a contract with the company. Buddy, bull, a shot is a big business. This money I turned back in the form of a bonus back to you. The money came in, and I sent the video of the day I caught the adulterer 2-8 to Huang Lihua. The video was enough to prove that Meng In was completely voluntary and that the two did not have sex. The prosecution dropped the case on the grounds that the evidence had changed and the conditions for prosecution were not met. Instead, Meng In was prosecuted for false accusation with strong evidence. She was sentenced to 14 months in prison. 18. When I went to see Meng In for the last time, my ex-brother-in-law blocked me at the door and tried to fight with me. My sister was wrong about you. You didn't help her in her accident, but you even screwed her over. You deliberately said that she would forgive her if she was forced to do so, and encouraged her to sue Wen Li, but then you turned your back on her, so despicable. I pointed to the camera on the wall and reminded him. Grow a brain. If you dare to throw a punch at me, I'll send you in to be with your sister. My ex-brother-in-law really lost it. When I saw Meng In again, she looked completely different from the past. Her long hair was cut short, her eye sockets were deep set, and she was so thin that she lost her looks. Husband, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Can you forgive me? A year or so will go by quickly, I'll be able to get out soon, let's start over, okay? I really admired her, she still wanted to tie me up at this stage. I was calm and relaxed. I'm here to tell you that I've cleaned up your things and sent them back to your parents' house. From now on, we have nothing to do with each other, don't ever see each other again. She stared at me blankly, her tears slipping down in bunches, gripping the railing in excitement. Husband, forgive me, please, I won't dare to do it again. I shook my head. I don't have the bad habit of eating grass again. After seeing Meng Yin, I went back to the company to pack my things. Qin Feng wandered over and gossiped with me. "Buddy," said Li Yongli, "that life route if timely surgery can be saved." Guess what? His wife did not give him a signature, said that fear of surgery risk, first observation. After observation, he was completely ruined, and now he's a eunuch. His wife divorced him and left him, without giving him a pair of pants, and now she's a doorman on Theater Road. And Huang Lihua sued Meng Yin, saying that the money that Li Yongli gave her is joint property and must be returned. I didn't expect it, but I wasn't too happy about it. After all this, I felt tired from the bottom of my heart. It was too meaningless. I took out my prepared resignation letter from my coat pocket and handed it to Qin Feng. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. When he was about to speak, I immediately made a preemptive strike. "Buddy, I appreciate you helping me, but you know this is not something I want to do. I've recruited a new undergraduate medical school graduate for you. I'll teach him by hand, and it definitely won't affect the company's business." Qin Feng thought for a while and nodded. "All right, I knew I wouldn't be able to keep you. Go ahead and study for your doctor's degree. You will become a good doctor. You'll be a good doctor." I voluntarily left $1 million of the $5 million of consulting fee from Huang Lihua to the company. I left the place where I had worked for 3 years with the remaining $4 million. 19. Being idle at home, I couldn't stay idle as a graduate. I used the first-hand data obtained in the consulting company as evidence and published 2 papers: analysis of factors affecting sperm morphology other than time conditions and survey on extramarital sex and condom use in the past 3 years. These 2 articles, with their large sample size and informative data, created a small wave in the academic world. I took the opportunity to apply to my graduate advisor for a doctoral degree. The old man was nearly 70 years old but still hale and hearty. When he saw me, he rolled his eyes to the sky. "Aren't you no longer a doctor? Why are you still writing thesis?" I hung my head low and didn't dare to speak. I chose a more lucrative profession for the sake of Meng Yin, which not only hurt my teacher's heart but also consumed my passion. But after 3 years of wasted time, I now have a clearer idea of what I want. I gathered my courage and promised my teacher, "Teacher, I want to continue my doctoral studies and become a pathologist. I will fight for my life for diagnostic pathology." Returning to the campus I had been away from for 3 years was a rejuvenating experience. This is the career I love. This is the stage where I will shine in the future. I am grateful for the 3 years I lost. I finally found myself.